Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the incredible legend of a man who was part priest, part visionary, and really the spiritual architect of an entire empire. A man who would help define the very soul of a nation. And that's really the big question at the heart of this story, isn't it? This is one of West Africa's greatest legends, a story of how spiritual wisdom and raw military power came together, forging the mighty Asante kingdom right from the fires of conflict. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in 17th century Ghana with a man who was destined to become a legend, Okomfo Anokye. He was born into a world just buzzing with deep spiritual tradition and a whole lot of potential. Yeah, you have to picture it. The sources describe his world as this place just filled with ancient magic and spiritual power, where the line between the natural and the supernatural was, well, it was blurry. And right in the middle of all this, Okomfo Anokye was an absolute master. This wasn't something he was just born into. He really dedicated his youth to studying the ancient ways. He was constantly seeking knowledge about the gods and perfecting his skills as a healer, getting ready for a destiny that, honestly, he probably couldn't even imagine yet. So Anokye's quest for wisdom takes him all over the land, and he's sizing up the ambitions of a lot of different leaders. But then, a meeting with one particular young warrior would change everything. And I mean, literally ignite the spark of an empire. In Tutu, Anokye saw way more than just a skilled fighter. He saw a kindred spirit. He saw a vessel for his grand vision, someone whose raw ambition could be shaped into the power of a true king. They were the perfect match, like two sides of the same coin. Anokye was the spiritual architect. He had the divine blueprint and all the wisdom. And Tutu, he was the master builder with the military muscle and the ambition to actually raise an empire from that blueprint. So this alliance, this was the foundation for everything that was about to happen. But their goal was incredibly audacious. This wasn't just about winning a few battles. It was about totally transforming a landscape of feuding, warring tribes into one single, unified people. But to unite a people that were so deeply divided, they needed more than just swords and spears. They needed a miracle. They needed a symbol so powerful it could bind everyone together, forever. And this was no easy task. You had years and years of conflict and rivalry. Just conquering these tribes wasn't going to cut it. To forge a real, lasting unity, you needed an act of divine authority that absolutely no one could question. And this is where the legend really takes off. In this incredible ceremony, with all the rival chiefs gathered together, Anokye performs his greatest work. He literally reaches into the heavens and calls down the ultimate symbol of unity, the golden stool. Now, this was no ordinary throne, not even close. It was the living, breathing embodiment of the new nation's spirit, its sunsum. The stool was said to hold the very soul of the Ashanti people, and Anokye sealed it with powerful spells to make sure it was always protected. So, with the kingdom now united under its very first king, Tutu, Anokye's role began to shift. He became the chief protector, the spiritual guide of this new nation that he had helped bring into being. Anokye's influence was, well, it was everywhere, in every part of the new kingdom. He wasn't some mystic hiding away in the shadows. He was a central figure in politics, in medicine, and in the nation's security. You could say Anokye's wisdom was the guiding force that made sure this young kingdom didn't just survive, but actually thrived. As the king's chief advisor, his counsel was really the cornerstone of all the Ashante's prosperity and strength. And this foundation of unity and wisdom, it would go on to create a legacy that echoed for centuries, cementing Anokye's place as one of the most important figures in all of Ghana's history. His death, of course, was mourned all across the kingdom. But the unity he had forged, that became his immortal monument. The nation he helped build was the true testament to his life's incredible work. So when you boil it all down, his legacy really stands on three main pillars. He created unity out of division, he brought wisdom to the leadership, and he gifted his people a spiritual power that truly defined their identity and their sense of divine protection. And that's exactly why his story is still told today. It's not just some old myth. It serves as this timeless reminder of what visionary leadership, courage, and a powerful sense of shared purpose can actually achieve. So, the story of Okomfo Anokye and Osei Tutu leaves us with this fascinating question, right? What's the true source of a nation's strength? Is it the person who holds the sword and wears the crown? Or is it the one who provides the vision and unites the very soul of the people?